welcome back to Defluence. This is episode number 8, 9, something like that. It's episode 9. We're going to talk about the mass Twitter exodus. That doesn't seem so mass, but it is. It's significant.
They're leaving us in droves, man.
Oh, yeah. By the way, this is Unkle Bonehead, and that is...
Cousin Nutjob, Allen Taylor of Cryptocracy.
That should be caffeinology.
Yes. Fully creamed and half decaffeinated.
Yep, there you go. So the news story is here that Elon Musk took over Twitter. Was it Friday?
Yeah, it was end of last week. I think it was Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. But his first order of business was that he fired like 3 or 4 executives and
the top cheese.
Yeah, and he's been, if you've been on Twitter and don't live under a rock, then you know that he's been quite the polarizing character, almost Trump-esque when it comes to people on Twitter, which I don't understand because he pretty much believes everything that they say.
He's kicking hashtags and taking names.
That's right. But his whole thing is that, Twitter should be a free speech type platform where there's not people getting banned for talking about anything and everything. And so it's got these people that are doing a mass exodus away from the platform. And where
mostly liberals.
Yep. Most of them are going to Mastodon. And we haven't covered Mastodon here yet. We planned on doing it in the future, but we're going to go ahead and do some talking about it today. Mastodon is part of what's called the Fediverse. The Fediverse is a bunch of different platforms that all connect to each other through a protocol called ActivityPub. It is not blockchain. It is not cryptocurrency or anything like that, but it is the way it connects is with the ActivityPub, it's more like email. And if you notice, if you do go join Mastodon, your username, your profile name will be at your username at whatever server you're on, .whatever. So, like mine is at Unkle Bonehead at defluence.nohost or at defluence.me. So that's more like a email address. And what this does is through the API, these different platforms or websites can connect to each other, or you can follow. You're not actually connecting to each other, but you can follow the other person on your website of choice.
Yeah. The thing that strikes me about Mastodon is what they call federated, and it's different than decentralization. It's a type of decentralization, but it's different than blockchain-based decentralization. So the federated systems like Mastodon allow you to set up your own instance, what they call an instance. It's sort of like a server. You can set up your own, and someone else can set up their own, and you can migrate back and forth and post your content on one or both or neither, and anyone following you can see your content no matter where it's posted.
Right.
Yeah.
With the way the Federation works, this is my biggest problem with the Fediverse, is that you're taking the same major problems you have with a big platform like Twitter or Facebook, and then just splitting it up into a bunch of smaller servers. You're still inherently putting your trust and your data in the hands of somebody else.
Yeah, it's more like Reddit, where you have, Reddit has these subreddits, and so Reddit's more hierarchical in nature, but there is that level of control in the subreddit where someone is like a moderator and they have the ability to boot you if they don't like you for some reason. So that can happen in the Fediverse.
Right. Yes. Which the one good thing about that with the Fediverse is that you can still download your account, all your data that you gave them, and you can migrate to another instance or another server. But the one thing you can't do, I found out, is that you can't, if you're on Friendica, you can't migrate to a Mastodon. And that's what I tried to do, because I was on Friendica. Originally, I was on Mastodon.social. I was on Mastodon, on the Fediverse, before I came to Hive. And I didn't leave the Fediverse. I just kind of let it dwindle down. But before I did, I moved to podcastindex.social, I think it was, from Mastodon.social. And then I just kind of left it there. Then I went to Hive, and I kind of been dabbling with Friendica while I was on Hive for the last 6-7 months. I like Friendica. It's a lot more like Facebook, if that's your kind of thing. But I like Mastodon because it's the shorter tweets on Mastodon. They're called toots.
Toots?
Yep.
So you can toot it all over the place.
That's right. and it's, I just like the layout of the site, and I like because I don't like to hang out on social media. I just kind of like to get in, read some quick little posts, and then I call it drive-by social media. Because
you're a fair weather social media guy.
Well, that's what it's like. Twitter is designed for is that
exactly, yeah.
A quick little blurb, tweet out a joke, or throw something out there just as whoever's going to be the pissed off, marginalized community at the time.
Right. And whose feathers you can ruffle. Right. That's it.
Yeah, and then you're out and you're gone. That's I like the short form content personally. If I want to read a blog post, I'll go to Hive. I'll go to Essensi or PT.
Yeah. The thing that I've noticed about Twitter since Elon Musk took it over last week, it's interesting in how Twitterers, the people on the platform, are sort of scrambling. You have the people, the status quo, who liked things the way they were. Mostly liberals. Conservatives, I don't think, were happy. They were mostly tolerating Twitter the way it was.
Yep. A lot of the conservative side was getting what they call shadow banned.
Yeah, and so Elon Musk comes along and buys it. And now what you have is, conservatives feel emboldened, and liberals now are put out. Now, nobody has bothered censoring liberals. Nobody's done that. Not yet. Okay. Right. And I don't think Musk has any intention of doing it. But the fear is that they're going to be censored.
Yep.
And so they're running for the hills. Another one of their fears is that Twitter is going to suddenly become a bastion of hate speech from the far right, and there has been some evidence of that happening since Musk took over, but that's largely been troll accounts that are just capitalizing on the opportunity.
Yep, it's bots.
Yeah. And I think they're going to fix that. Okay, I mean, Musk does not like bots. He's made that clear. So
he's made that clear long before he even thought about buying Twitter.
Right, but long before he even started talking about buying it. So I think they're gonna search for a problem for the bots, but he doesn't want to squelch legitimate speech.
Yep, he's said that he's mainly, stated as much that, he just wants there to be, an open conversation. You can't have balance if there's not anything on both sides.
Right. And I respect that. I do. The problem is Twitter is still going to be centralized, even under Elon Musk.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, it's still going to be centralized, which means he has the power, if he wants to censor a crowd that he might not like, whether it's liberals or ultra-right conservatives or whoever. He still has the ability to censor them. Now, whether he'll exercise that or not, that's another question.
You're losing your signal.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. I don't know if you're getting too far away from the computer or Bluetooth or what, but
I'm actually right on top of it. I'm practically kissing my mic right now. Can you hear me?
Just don't kiss it too hard.
Yeah, I might have turned my head once, and maybe that's what happened.
It sounded like the cell signal was going.
No, I'm on my computer. Anyways, that's my take on the Twitter drama. I don't see Elon Musk as a good guy or a bad guy. He's just a businessman.
Yep.
Looking to buy a product, improve the product, and make a profit on it.
Yep. Like you said in your cryptocracy article about this, that first thing he's going to do is make a profit.
Exactly, that's what he's doing, and he made that announcement. I believe yesterday. He's going to increase the price of Twitter Blue, which is the premium Twitter service. Currently, it's $4.99 a month. He's thinking about charging $19.99 a month. And Stephen King, the author, the most famous fiction writer on the planet right now, except for maybe James Patterson. He's talking about leaving Twitter over $20 a month.
Yep. I get the idea of what he's talking about, but let's put it this way: he uses it for business, regardless of whether it's his quote unquote personal account or whatever. It's business. He did it for business to promote himself.
Of course.
So if he's going to invest in himself and invest in why can't he charge his publicist that or his booking agent? It's $20 freaking. Joe Schmo down at the Speedway gas station can spend $20 and get a blue check mark. If that's what that's supposed to mean.
Yeah. It's not like he can't afford the $20 a month.
Right. I think it's more along the lines he wants to keep that as part of the elite.
Yeah, or maybe he doesn't like Elon Musk.
Yeah, that too.
And just instead of saying that, he's going to take issue with the $20 a month.
Yep. But to be honest, there is a lot more that goes along with that, $20 a month or $4.99, whatever it is. I mean, you get email, you get, HD quality uploads of videos, several other things like no ads. And a big thing I think this is the main reason Musk wanted to raise it, is because with the ad free, they take from the Twitter Blue, they take that, and when you read an article on one of their quote unquote partners, like the Washington Post or New York Times or whatever, they get a portion of what the members Twitter Blue membership that you pay for reading their article ad free.
Yeah. So instead of having that article paid for by sponsors, which is what happens for the free readers, they get paid a portion of the Twitter Blue for getting rid of the ads.
Yep. So Musk is just basically monetizing that more.
Yeah. Which is to be expected. You would expect him, as a business person, to look at where his product is delivering more value than what it is receiving in revenues, and to make the adjustment that would make it more profitable. That's what businesses do.
Exactly. I've got nothing wrong with. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Now, I have no interest in joining Twitter Blue myself.
Yeah,
I don't.
Me neither.
Whether it's I haven't even done the $4.99 a month service. I don't have a blue check mark by my name on Twitter. I never really saw the need for doing that. Maybe there is a reason to do it, but I haven't seen the value in that for me.
No, me neither.
But I don't have a problem with others who want to do that themselves, and it might make more sense for the Washington Post and then Times and that crowd,
right?
To do that, and if they're going to utilize that service, say $20 a month is probably a fair price.
Yeah, it's not that much. Me, it's just I don't understand people. The main problem I see with this is that it's going to end up being, it's going to end up being, I'm going to have to edit that out. They want to burp in there.
You can leave it in for Mastodon.
There you go. I actually like Mastodon and the Fediverse, and it's not because of the people that's on there. It's more of the fact that I host my own instance or server, whichever terminology you wish to use, and it's freaking awesome because there's several cross-posting services out there so that I can post on my Mastodon and it automatically goes to Twitter, or I can post on Twitter and it automatically goes to my Mastodon. And I just like
bird to beast.
Yep.
And beast to bird.
Yep. and I've always liked the Fediverse mainly because it's all open source and you can look at everything it does. You can host it your own if you've got to know how to do that. And it's not hard to actually do it. But if you could marry Hive and Mastodon together, I think it would be right now the perfect situation, at least for me.
Yeah.
There is a thing called PeerTube, which is a video hosting and sharing Fediverse app, which I do have my own instance of that too. It's called Defluence.me.
Yeah. PeerTube's also part of the Hive ecosystem.
No, it's got a plugin that integrates Hive into PeerTube.
Okay, all right.
So it's a way for users to log in and vote and make comments on videos. You can't post videos to PeerTube yet.
It used to be a part of Steemit.
Right.
I guess during the hard fork when Hive broke off, PeerTube started its own blockchain. Isn't that right?
No. PeerTube was always part of the Fediverse. It's never been part of Hive. The plugin for Hive, I believe, was part of Steemit originally, I think.
I thought it was a part of Steemit.
No.
Okay, so it was a part of the Fediverse?
Yeah, you're thinking of DTube.
Oh, maybe I am.
Yeah, DTube used to be, it still is part of Steemit.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's okay. So, yeah, it was probably DTube. That's what I was thinking about. Okay.
DTube was the one after the hard fork that stayed with Steam, and ThreeSpeak went with Hive. And then DTube integrated Hive into DTube, and now they've also got their own blockchain called Avalon.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I write about that in my book, actually.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So it is DTube, actually, not PeerTube.
Yep. PeerTube works on the BitTorrent protocol to share videos. So when the video files themselves are actually decentralized. So when somebody's watching one of your videos, they also become a seeder. So then the more people watching your videos, the better it runs, blah, 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 blah.
Do they use IPFS?
No. It is different than that.
Okay.
IPFS works by actually hosting the files.
Yeah.
PeerTube it's the files, like on my instance, they're right here on my computer here in the house. And then if somebody watches it, they become a seeder, and then somebody else goes and watches it too. They become a seeder, and then the video gets better quality and so on and so forth.
It's decentralization by other means.
Yeah, by protocol.
Yeah.
The IPFS works by everybody hosting the same file, so it all comes together.
Yeah, it's all hosted on different servers.
Yep. Anyways,
I have to check out PeerTube.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Back to Mastodon.
Slight diversion. Yeah.
There are several places you can go if you want to learn more about Mastodon. There's joinmastodon.org, I believe it is. There's mastodon.social, obviously. That's probably arguably the biggest Mastodon instance around. If Instagram is more of your thing, there's pixelfed.social. It's the same thing. You can follow anybody on Mastodon with a PixelFed account. You can follow anybody on, with a PixelFed account on Mastodon. If obviously Facebook, that's Friendica. It's decentralized in a way that's through protocol and not at a blockchain level.
Which means that your content is not immutable.
Exactly.
And that transactions within the metaverse, within the Fediverse, are not immutable.
Right. There's not any kind of transaction to say it the same as it would be with a blockchain crypto social.
Yeah, there's no cryptocurrency. So
it's more along the lines of glorified email.
Yeah,
there's no other way to put it. It's so you don't get any kind of rewards for upvotes or downvotes on your content or anything like that. But each individual instance or server, whoever you join up on, if they decide that somebody you're following is on another instance and they don't want to federate with it, they can block it and you won't be able to follow that person. So there is a small form of censorship there.
Right. And you can be booted off of Mastodon's system. So if they don't like you, and they have a long list of things that they will boot you for, and they're right up front about it. If you have any kind of hate or animosity toward any group at all, most of them liberals, then they will ban you.
Yep.
And,
like when Gab was pulled off of Google Play and all that, Gab switched over to Mastodon with a Pleroma front end, I think it was, or maybe it's based on Pleroma. I don't remember. Anyways, it's technically part of the Fediverse. The very first thing that happened was that Eugene, the main guy behind Mastodon, went and blocked Gap right off the bat so that they couldn't federate. And so this is the same problem with the other centralized platforms.
I guess there wasn't a whole lot of gabbing going on, was there?
No. Which I did try Gab once. I was on it for less than 24 hours before I deleted it.
Yeah, how come?
I posted a review of a restaurant down in Arkansas because it's a pretty famous old mom and pop truck stop known for their restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's from there to Dallas. It's right about 3 hours or so. And I posted it in the parking lot before I left. By the time I got to the place I was going to in Dallas 3 hours later, I had like 4 comments about, Trump is a Nazi, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, seriously? This is a post about food, and you're bringing up politics? And I just immediately deleted my account.
So the pro-Nazis came out.
Yeah, it just didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right.
That's not the kind of interactions that are on, that are supposed to be social media. And if I'm going to post on a social media site, I better be getting an actual real comment and not an automated bot comment.
Right. Yeah, and that's why a lot of these alt-right have reputation that they have. Some people want to use free speech as an excuse to just publish random splooge. For lack of a better term, it's rubbish. You're not producing anything fruitful or thoughtful. Why are you bothering? But there's a lot of that out there.
Yes,
and you'll find it on these alt-right platforms. And nobody else wants to go on those platforms because of that.
Right. Which is why I want to talk to you people that are leaving Twitter. Not that I'm defending Twitter here, but I'm defending the idea that if you cut and run just because you're afraid that some things are going to, that you've been endorsing and enforcing on the other side is going to happen to you, all you're doing is doing what they want you to do. And that's to create a parallel economy, social status. They want to be able to separate everybody. And that's not what's going to be the answer to all this. The answer is going to be is that we should all be unified in our independence.
We should all agree that free speech is something worth defending.
Exactly.
If you want to be free to speak your mind, you should respect the right of others to be able to speak theirs.
Yep.
I mean, why is that hard to understand?
Right. Well, it's not that free speech is the right to disagree. Just because somebody disagrees with your opinion on something doesn't make it hate speech. And spouting off an opinion and acting like it is a fact does not make it a fact.
That's true.
Just because 10 people agree on an opinion does not mean that is a consensus. And a consensus is not a fact. A consensus is an agreement on an opinion.
Exactly. Right. And that doesn't make it fact. And disagreement is, the grease to great dialogue.
Right.
It's what makes It's what makes the world go around. And lots of people's faces turn red too, by the way.
Oh yeah.
You can't do that without disagreement. So, it makes the world a more interesting place. And it used to be here in America, that people could disagree on a topic and still be friends.
Yep. It
But,
is still possible
today,
in real life. But
well,
when they're
for
behind the
people,
keyboard on a screen.
well, for people who are mature, it's possible.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
there's a lot of immaturity out there, and people want to cancel you because you don't see the world the same way they do. That's
Right.
crazy. It's ridiculous.
The big problem is that they are trying to outlaw or make dissent be wrong. And the problem is that dissent is a human condition. It's a human behavior. It's a human thought process. You can't legislate that kind of stuff.
I do not need your consent to dissent.
That's right. Dude, that's a good title. I do not need your consent to dissent.
But that's why I think that decentralization is so important.
Yes, it is.
Blockchains like Hive protect free speech by allowing people to speak freely that which is unpopular and which would get them banned on other platforms, but which would be protected by the technology. Whether it's popular, unpopular, profitable, unprofitable, or whatever, that speech, which is maybe it's just something that that people find deplorable, but you still have a right to say it. And I think of Colin Kaepernick. What if the NFL was a blockchain? Man, there's a lot of background noise coming in. What if the NFL was a blockchain? Then Colin Kaepernick, when he knelt instead of stood at the during the national anthem, he wouldn't have been able to be booted off the NFL.
True.
And lots of people would not have liked that. But does he have a right to speak his mind?
Yes, he does.
Does he have a right to protest something he doesn't like about our society? Sure, why not? Now you can argue that maybe the football field is not the right place to be doing that, and maybe we can agree on that. But still, free speech is free speech.
Yep. Absolutely. So I really can't think of anything else to add to that. I mean, it's just, people just need to understand. And when they go over to Mastodon, keep in mind, it is not Twitter. There are some things.
No, it is not.
There are some things that, certain people will be very happy and excited to be a part of it. And there are some that's going to look at it and call it crap. But whichever way you swing or whichever way you think, the only way you're going to be truly free on Mastodon in the Fediverse is to host your own. And then you control it.
Right. And you might get boosted, you might get booted off of every instance in the Fediverse, but at least you could have your own instance and you won't get booted off that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I still think blockchains are better.
Yeah, I do too.
Because look, what can happen is with the Fediverse, if you own your own instance and you get booted off of everybody else's, You still own that one instance, but everybody who follows you can leave your instance and you're all alone.
Well, if you're hosting your own instance, you're the only one on it. That's the way I've got it. But if
you're talking into a vacuum then. You're just talking into a vacuum.
Yeah, I'm still being able, people, because I've still got 160 some followers that are following me.
And they see what you post.
Yep. But if the instance that they're on decides to block my instance because they don't like me or don't like what I say, all those people will cease to see what I see or will see what I say.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the Fediverse.
Right. So unless you're hosting your own and controlling who you federate with and who you're following, it's not decentralized because you're letting somebody else make those choices for you.
Right. Essentially, the Fediverse is not censorship resistant.
Exactly.
And the blockchain is. And that's why the blockchains are superior. And some people would disagree with that because they want to censor you.
Excuse me, sir, your bias is showing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My bias. I have a bias toward freedom.
That's right.
Pardon my bias toward freedom, but your lack of a bias toward freedom is stepping on my bias toward freedom.
On that note, I think we should probably end this because I feel like we're saying the same thing over and over.
Yeah, we're starting to, but there you have it. A lot going on this week. Elon Musk bought Twitter, and liberals are running scared. On Mastodon and the Fediverse, you're not truly free. You can be censored.
Yep.
And on blockchains, you cannot. And that basically sums up our message for today.
Absolutely. Yeah. We will see you guys again next time. Oh, well, you can email us at defluence or at podcast@defluence.online.
Yeah, and hey, if you want to know more about this Twitter deal, check out Cryptocracy Today. It's Twitter Tuesday. Got a lot going on. Sharing tweets about Twitter and the Twitter purchase in Cryptocracy and what that means for decentralization. So check it out, cryptocracy.substack.com.
There you go. Well, we'll catch you guys again next time. Be good, be safe. Don't stick your finger where you wouldn't stick your face.
Amen to that.